everybody, and welcome to, well, what is the odd vlog, but kind of like a different version or series of the odd vlog that I'm going to start doing. Kind of a spin-off, if you like, and this is going to be the odd saber vlog, which is a little bit different to what I normally talk about in the vlogs that we do. Haven't done one for a long time, mind you, but what we wanted to start doing this kind of mini-series about was LED saber combat, and my own kind of experiences with it, my journey through it, and my own kind of thoughts and feelings and opinions about why I like it, why I like doing it, and why I enjoy it, and really trying to give people some ideas as to how they can get into it if it's something that they wanted to do as well. It's no surprise to people that follow me on Twitter that it's something that I've probably been doing over the last kind of month or so since I've started really kind of throwing myself into it properly. I sort of started doing a few lessons last year in 2019, but only really kind of got into it properly within the last month or so, going to like regular lessons and that kind of thing. So we're going to do a few different kind of vlogs about it. We're going to cover the sabers, the equipment, probably not so much like tactics and techniques because I'm by no means an instructor, but certainly I'll give you hopefully an idea of what it's like through the eyes of someone who's just started doing it, and what it's like to kind of go through it. So what is it? Well, it's basically, in a nutshell, fighting but with lightsabers, and it's full contact sword fighting and sword fighting techniques, or broad sword fighting techniques. It's just that you happen to use an LED saber or a lightsaber while you're doing it. We will review a few sabers as well. I've got my one here that I use, which fortunately the battery has actually died, so I can't show you it lit up, but there's another one in its way for me as well, so we'll be able to kind of review and compare from two different manufacturers which ones I like and why, and what the differences are between them, if any, and also kind of giving people an insight into some of the events that we do, so like demonstration fighting and taster sessions and those sorts of things, because even within a month of me starting to do this, I've already kind of experienced the demonstration and the kind of cosplay element to it as well. So plenty of things that we can talk about in future episodes, and things that we can do kind of following along this journey of a Jedi, I suppose, if you want to call it that, where there's a lot of things also involved besides the combat element to it, things like mindfulness and all those other things that I think a lot of people would associate with, I suppose, a Jediism of a sort. So lots of things to come. In terms of events of what we've got coming up for the show and sort of random adventures, we've got Portsmouth Comic Con coming up in a couple of months' time. If you haven't seen my video for that from last year, do check it out, because it was one of the best videos I did last year in my opinion, but also one of the most viewed, and we'll be going back and we'll be doing that again, hopefully even bigger and better than what we did last year, so that'll be something to look out for. Then later on in the year, hopefully we'll be doing some more adventures around Devon. We'll be going back there and doing that again too. And then later on in the year, we'll just see what happens. But Worthing Wormhole is also on my agenda for around October, November time. And that's basically Worthing's kind of premium Comic-Con event, if you like, which is my first time going to that as well. So plenty of things to look forward to, both involving sabers and not involving sabers. And we've also got more of the Disneyland Paris videos to come up as well. I think there's probably another 4, maybe 5 videos to follow on from my adventures there last year. So lots of stuff coming up. This really is just kind of like a bit of an intro into what we're going to be doing now with this kind of new series, or special series of odd vlogs that we'll do. And it is still just as before. They're the odd vlogs that I feel like doing occasionally. There's no kind of set routine or set time scales of when I'm going to do these. It's just as and when I feel like doing the odd vlog, which is why it's called that. So yeah, all those things are going to come over the next few weeks and months and for the rest of the year. So plenty of videos, so please do subscribe, hit the notification icon as well, so that as these videos aren't particularly regular, you won't miss any going forward as well. And who knows, we may even start trying to do some more of the Galactic Bulletin at some point during the year, so look out for any episodes of those going forward as well. So with that being said, just to give you a rough idea as to how I got into saber combat, it was actually through somebody that I work with, who at the time that he got into it suggested it to me, but I didn't do it then because I still, at that time, a couple of years ago, was still very much an active competing tennis player, so I was still doing the training and tournaments and practice for that, so I didn't really have the time to start taking up any other kind of sport. so I didn't take it up at the same time as he did, but was aware of the fact that it was probably within a year I think I'd gone to WinterCon with him, and that was my first real taste of actually what sabers were like, because they were there and doing demonstrations, so it was really the first time I saw them in action. And again, have a look back through my WinterCon videos, because there's a couple of appearances they make in videos there, and they're very, very cool. To give you an idea of the actual combat side of things, the tournament fighting as well, there's a whole playlist on my channel from last year's UK Open for LED Saber combat. Loads of videos to give you an idea of the brutality of the fighting, and just how amazing it is just to watch it, let alone to actually do it. This week I actually had my first ever kind of experience of an actual tournament style fight with point scoring, fencing masks and that kind of stuff. Well, I survived. I definitely didn't win, but I survived, so I consider that a win. But it's early days, and we'll see what happens going forward. But yeah, certainly over the last month or so, it was something I decided I wanted to get into a lot more, and just to give it a go, give it a try, and just to see where it kind of goes. So obviously we're all Star Wars fans on this channel, and certainly if you follow on Twitter, you'll get to see some more insight as to what happens going forward, and certainly some of the events that we'll be going to as well, where this guy makes an appearance sometimes as well. So with that being said, do stay tuned, do subscribe, if you can, what I call superhero this video, and give it a like, give it a share, give it a comment. And with that being said, we are all done, and I'll see you guys in the next episode, where we probably will give this a bit of a review, and hopefully the battery will be charged. So we'll see you soon.